But yeah, basically the first question is really just to learn more about you, your role, what do you work on mostly, and what kind of brands you work with. I know you mentioned that it's the business you're working in. If you could share about yourself, it would be really interesting.
Oh, thank you very much. I left the corporate world in May of 2024 and joined a nonprofit here in the Chicagoland area. Prior to that, I'd spent a lot of my career in publishing, travel and hospitality, transportation, infection prevention, and financial services. In the Chicago metropolitan area, the Chicago Furniture Bank provides furniture for those leaving homelessness and poverty. My role on the team as the chief revenue officer encompasses business development, marketing, building relationships across all channels to source furniture so that here in our Whipple office, which is our showroom warehouse, we bring in used furniture. We refurbish as many pieces as we can. We put it in a showroom, and clients are able to come in and have a shopping experience. Working on this mission as a nonprofit, it's more challenging in a lot of ways from a marketing perspective as well as a business development perspective to get people to understand that even as a nonprofit, there's still a cost to manage and operate the organization. So, working across about 17 different channels, building those messages from a marketing perspective to be very specific, keeping the mission intact and expanding the awareness because we are the best kept secrets ever. The organization was formed in 2018. And even though we've been fortunate enough to be able to serve over 20,000 individuals and families leaving homelessness and poverty, the need is so great. Working primarily out in a digital environment from the standpoint of a monthly newsletter, a lot of social media, we really haven't fully embraced an AI environment yet. And a big part of that is really more used for social media creation. The authenticity of the client is really important. So we definitely don't want any incorrect way of presenting the clients or our mission. We're still working through that. But primarily now, a lot of face to face meetings, a lot of the traditional ways of building awareness in the organization. So the marketing strategy really encompasses both.
Very interesting. And I suppose if we were to focus on organic growth, maybe SEO, maybe content, SEO content, maybe when was the last time you had to implement it as part of the growth strategy for this business or before? And could you share more about that time?
Absolutely. The organization was formed by three young guys that graduated from grad school and came back to Chicago, started to build the organization. One U-Haul truck driving around picking up furniture. The grassroots, that messaging, that referral side was really starting to build. During the pandemic, things changed a bit and then it started to come back around again. From a growth perspective, we look at it from multiple segments. When I'm talking about large decommission, a lot of furniture coming in from a hotel or a university, that is a group where the growth for the furniture donations can really make a difference. In most of those cases, the donor pays for that furniture to come to us. From the growth side of bringing in revenue from the fleet of trucks that do residential pickups, that's a key factor. My focus is a little thin sometimes because I'm trying to grow each of those. Growth in itself is really going to be penetrating the actual metropolitan area with much more of an awareness. We'd love to be able to do TV. We'd love to be able to do radio. We would love to have more print advertising in a lot of publications. But again, as a profit, that is generally not the first and foremost way that any donations or grant development money is spent. The importance of front of people as best we can to grow the business.
Makes sense. And I suppose what's the most difficult about that process, like you described?
That's twofold. Nonprofit generally gets someone to think there's no cost to them. So we have two different ways that we can get donations of furniture. One through our own trucks going out, and the other donors paying for freight to come. We have a staff of people that manage the organization, that service, which is how we get the guys out in our fleet of trucks. The difficult thing is making certain someone sees a headline or a tag or that brand pop immediately so they understand there is a fee for us to get your donation. Even though I was aware of that challenge coming in, I didn't expect it to be quite that difficult. People haven't been purchasing as much furniture, so there isn't as much from a residential perspective coming in. So what's your choice? Would you like a tax deductible donation where we're going to come and get your furniture and we're going to charge you a small fee for our drivers to come and do that? Or are you take it to the dump or throw it in the trash, which is the other part of our mission, the sustainability side, keeping us out of landfills. So there's a dual message that's going on that has to flip the switch for a donor to understand there's a lot more here. It's not just you giving us your used couch.
Those two missions, like you said, are being fed here. So yeah, makes sense. And I suppose if you had unlimited resources or a magic wand, what would you do or change?
Well, the amount of messaging in different mediums. I really believe that if we were able to be on radio and have TV commercials during evening news and really got people to understand, we've been fortunate recently, one of our major corporate donors gave us a spot on a digital billboard on a major highway here. And recently, we've been seeing people putting in requests saying, saw you on the billboard. So it only kind of solidifies that if there is presence where people are in their car going home or sitting on their couch, watching a TV show and they see it repeatedly, people will start to realize we exist. I can't tell you how many times I hear from people, we had no idea that you even exist. So that should be the first thing I would do. I would really use those more powerful types of mediums to get the message out. The digital side works, but growing followers and social media still takes time and money. And we do have a very limited market budget.
Makes sense. Interesting. When it comes to the tool side of things, like advertising tools, maybe marketing tools, other than partnerships and building these requests with the outlets, what do you see is missing with the tools that help to get your brand out, get your message out? Is there anything missing in your opinion?
I would say that there's so much noise in general with so much happening all the time that if there's a way to really target those messages much better, focused on a profit or a mission or that type of need, is how many times in your lifetime would you have furniture to donate? So if you're residential, obviously hotels and things are different. You might have an item right now that you need to get rid of. So you see a commercial or you see something on social media and you think, oh yeah, I could do that. But is it always front of mind? So
Yeah.
how do you become that household word?
Actually, I'm just going to share personal experience. I just wanted to get rid of my couch, but it's a good couch. I just wanted a space for filming. And the first thing I did was go to Google and search couch removal. And I found nothing useful, nothing helpful. Surely there should be loads of couches that people need to get rid of. Sofas are the number one thing people want to change or upgrade or get rid of. And there was nothing on the internet. I couldn't find anything like, we will take your couch for free within an hour. I was surprised. So I'm curious if your audience, because I assume every single household is potentially your audience.
Yes.
We have a massive market, but I think the right buying time is not there because they, like, it might be that they don't see the message or they don't think of your message in the right time. I'm curious if search markets are your channel. How can I get rid of my couch? Where is the dumping center where I can get rid of the couch? Because I know my neighbors were shouting on me when I wanted to get rid of like a smallest piece of furniture. And they're like, you need to put it in the proper landfill place or somewhere. And I was researching, like, what should I do? I'm curious. I only share because it crossed my mind recently when I was getting rid of the couch.
From a website organic search versus we do have a small Google AdWords program that is funded because we're a nonprofit. The keywords in that AdWords program are generally swallowed up by the competitors who are buying those words and getting the placement. From an organic perspective, what really helps us are referrals. And that can come from either furniture stores that partner with us that give out our information when someone's coming in. We've got a couple of corporate furniture donors that actually do a swap your couch. And we're going to donate your old couch to Chicago Furniture Bank and give you $500 towards your new couch and a tax receipt. We do have some of that happening, but generally we rank, but we don't rank above a junk hauler, which is unfortunate. Now, if you were to key in nonprofit junk hauler, which how many people would do that? I'm not sure. You see what I'm saying? That junk hauler by itself goes to some of the big guys that have those radio and TV commercials, as I was mentioning.
Wow.
So in that 7 seconds, how much time do you have to say, get a tax deduction for donating your furniture and we'll haul your junk?
Probably not a lot of opportunities to do that.
Yeah, and
Wow.
we're really lucky. I'm very grateful for the work that's come before me. Some of the automation capabilities that we need to implement will help our SEO tremendously because more people will find us in that regard because it'll be easier for them to make a donation. But anything that gets Chicago Furniture Bank and our sister nonprofit junk out there above somebody else is critical.
Makes sense. And I suppose for the second part, the open-ended questions are over here.